Based on the title, I'm pretty sure you can get a good idea of what we're talking about today. In the world, there are many good therapists, but there's also a lot more bad therapists than good ones. And the people who actually end up getting a good therapist are lucky, because not everyone is blessed with that privilege. Hate to tell ya. I've had a total of 2 therapists, my current one and the one I used to have that I no longer see. And in real retrospect, based on these 2 bad therapists, if I can say with all justice, I hate going to therapy. I hate therapy in general. Again, for the people of the good therapists, I am telling you right now, you are lucky and you are privileged, because a lot of us don't have that. Especially where I live. We live in a town that has, like, absolutely fucking shitty-ass therapists. And there's not a lot of good ones. Hell, I can't believe I'm saying this, but ChatGPT is a better therapist than my actual human therapist. And I know that's toxic to say. And I'll get into what happened with each of these therapists in a second. But I want to start off by saying that because of the mental health system that we still live in, a lot of people are afraid to ask for help. And I honestly can't blame them. Considering the fact I've had 2 bad therapists that really didn't give a shit about me, I can understand why. But the way that they also handle, or doctors handle you when you say you're having suicidal thoughts, I can understand why you are absolutely terrified to shit. We'll get into that later too. But first, let's talk about my first ever bad therapist, Elle. We'll call her Elle. Elle was like around her 50s, maybe early 60s. She was an older woman. And you remember in my last video when I said I had a good intuition of spotting bad people? Well, my intuition alarm bells were running off when I met Elle for the first time. It took me a while to gain trust in Elle. A part of me didn't trust her at all, but since she was a therapist, and I know she needed to do her job and I couldn't just bottle up emotions anymore, I did start to gradually open up. But I would later realize that was a big mistake. At first I noticed when I first started opening up, she didn't really give me any helpful advice. She didn't give me any... Shh. Letty, come here. Come here. Come to Mama. I'm trying to film a video and you're not letting me. Come on. Come here. Come to Mama. Come here. Hello. Hi. Who's your good baby? As I was saying, when she wouldn't give me helpful advice, she did diagnose me with social anxiety, which was true. I did have that, but she never gave me good advice of how to cope with it, handle it, or anything else. She just said pretty much to just not get so anxious, that people are going to always be like this. Yeah, not a good piece of advice there, Elle. Like, come on. We can do better than that. But it got worse when my father tried to take custody of me and take me away from my mother. it was suggested that me and my dad do therapy sessions together. Which, of course, Al mentioned that she never done. But the court suggested it that we try that first before we actually do a court hearing. And I was so uncomfortable sitting in my therapy room with my father. Luckily, however, I managed to get him to storm out of the frickin' therapy office when I said that I didn't want any relationship with him. And I thought Lori would be on my side. Turns out I was wrong. When I went up into the court hearing, because I was there for it, I testified. Or whatever the word is. I don't know. But I got to speak to the judge. My dad was there, and so was his wife. And my mom was there, too, with her lawyer. But one of the lawyers read out that my therapist had stated that I said I wanted a relationship with my father. And basically when I heard those words, I was shooken. Because I never said that. I said I didn't want a relationship with my dad. I wanted nothing to do with him. But she went and lied, making me look bad and making my dad look good. She was supposed to be on my side, but she took my dad's, but I was her patient. I was furious. So I never saw her again after that day. I refused to. Hell, I didn't see a therapist for years after that. But recently, I think around during senior year, I finally started seeing the other, or my current therapist, which I don't really like either. We'll call her Krista. Yeah, Krista. Krista is younger. She's like in her 20s, maybe going into her 30s. She seemed nice at first, but then she started saying things that made me really upset and really, really uncomfortable. Specifically after I got diagnosed with my POTS disorder, or my POTS chronic illness. Sorry. After I told her I got diagnosed with POTS, she started to compare her POTS diagnosis to mine. And in all retrospect, therapists aren't supposed to do that. Therapists aren't supposed to compare their thing to you. Especially knowing it can vary. But they're meant to listen. They're meant to help, not compare and make you feel belittled. And yeah. Cat, I'm trying to make a video here. Basically, I had told her that I could barely leave my house due to my POTS. And she kept on trying to say, You need to go outside at some time, and I tried to keep telling her I physically couldn't because my symptoms flare the moment I leave my house. But then that's when she decided to say this. You know, when I was in college, I didn't have the luxury to stay inside all the time like you do. Bitch, staying in here isn't a luxury for me. You think I want to be in here? No. But it's the safer choice for me. This isn't a luxury. I don't like it, but I have no choice. And she still sometimes compares her POTS diagnosis to mine. And I get more furious every time she does it. 'Cause it's not right. In a way, she was judging me. And therapists aren't supposed to be judgmental. They're supposed to be accepting and will listen to you. But another time, she asked me a very uncomfortable question. Was after I told her I got my first boyfriend. She said she knew we were long distance, but I was excited to tell her. I was actually excited to talk about something. But then she had to go on and ruin it. She said, "What would you do if you met in person and you didn't have that spark that you do over the internet?" That question just ruined my whole mood. Like, girl, I just got my first ever boyfriend and you're trying to ask me, what if we don't have that spark when we meet in person? Like, come on. Are you trying to make me upset on purpose? And she also isn't really good at listening anyway. Me and my mom for a bit speculated I might have PTSD, so we tried our hardest to get Katie to talk about it with us, but she would skip over the topic and go to a completely new one and never answer our questions. It was really annoying. So I don't think I'm going to be seeing her anymore either. She's not a good therapist here. And it's not frickin' fun. Now, I know a lot of the devil's advocates are going to be out here thinking, Cheyenne, you need to stop being so selfish. At least these therapists are trying to do their job. Yeah, that's just the thing. They're trying to do their job. They don't see this as a way to help kids. They're doing it sometimes as a power trip and just for the paycheck, not to help us. A lot of doctors are like this, sadly. And mental health systems has still a long way to go. I mean, it definitely has grown since a while back, but it still needs to do better. Which brings me back to what I brought up in the beginning of the video. What they do when they find out you're suicidal. Sometimes they'll involuntarily sign you up for a psych hospital. And with this, you pretty much get everything taken away from you. Your phone, any reach to the outside world, really. You're pretty much just stuck wearing a hospital gown and the little grippy socks that they give you. They don't really leave you with much. They take everything. And based on what's some other people have said based on their experiences, if you don't listen or if you don't behave, they can put you in isolation or even sedate you. That's horrifying. That's why whenever I get suicidal thoughts, I bury them real deep. And I don't talk to anyone about it. Because I'm afraid stuff like that will happen to me. Because it does happen to other people, and it happens a lot. So I don't want that happening to me. No one should have that happen to them. But that's the way our world is. Our world's fucked. But it doesn't help that a lot of people who have mental health problems can't even get the proper mental health care they need. Because not everyone can afford it. In places like the UK or Canada, they have free health care. They're lucky, while we in the US are not. And in a lot of horror movies I see nowadays, most of it is just, ooh, mentally unstable person is scary. We're not scary, we're just people having problems that people don't listen to us for. But yeah, that's the end of this video. If you relate to this, I am so sorry. But stay safe and stay quirky. Bye, monsters.